This was only meant to be a solitary occasion, and following strangers can often lead to conversations or finding yourself in places or predicaments that one doesn't really need to be in. But whether it was right or wrong, I followed her diligently for some time until I didn't need to follow her any longer. Or, if we're being honest with ourselves, rather than me not needing to follow her anymore, instead, I might say that I couldn't follow her anymore. Somewhere, I lost her. She had dark, ash splattered hair, like a sooty smear on white porcelain, and cheekbones that were concave but still plump, like two plums painted perfectly on her cheeks, just about to become prunes. This made her smile neat and tidy, and nothing short of alive William Glacken's portrait. Even staring at the back of her head, I can imagine her against a mauve-colored backdrop, heavy in tones that reflected the French Impressionist era. But her body, it was adorned with very commonplace clothing of the 21st century. This made for a peculiar painting in my mind, and what likely made me follow her and adore her. I consider most days a good day for a stroll, and walking behind her on that umbrella ridden path, we moved in banded angularity, the umbrellas creating a makeshift kaleidoscope of resonating colors and furious prismatic feelings. I remember this emotion with such intensity that I chose to transcript promptly, and with such a frequency that it has become a very permanent fixture of my writerly self. And that was always the problem, that my mouth so preceded my thoughts in conversation that I always left that expression on people's faces, the one where they are observing my face and then their hands honing in on some minute detail of their fingertips or nail bed as a means to exit the conversation. Despite the weather on the streets, there was an increase in foot traffic, and the intensity just kept rising and rising. I kept running into people with their heads down to shield themselves from the rain. In my arms were bags from the Central Market, getting heavier with each pace as they collect droplets of rain. The scents wafting from the Concord grapes, piles of ripe mangoes, star fruit, and fragrant pomegranates left me full in spirit. However, what does one do with items procured from the market when there are glorious amounts of places to go where food will be served hot and aptly paired with a cocktail? Or perhaps with an Irish coffee. And there, the cocktails are warm and they change with the seasons, just like my wardrobe. At 4, some of the downtown business people rush into these establishments and fill every bar stool, and they sit next to each other, but they don't speak. They only consume, and their complexions brighten with each bite and with each sip they take. I watch the ebb and flow of people with my cheek to the window, my eyes all aglaze like a child watching the world like a scene inside a snow globe. This is where my story starts, but also ends. Mull over that with a cup of coffee in hand.